What if I told you that the pain you try so hard to hide isn't a sign of weakness, but of destiny? Strange, I know. After all, we've all been conditioned to believe that feeling too much is a flaw, that not fitting in is a problem, and that being lost is a failure. But what if it were just the opposite? What if all this were proof that your soul carries something greater, something few have the courage to see? The truth is that what you call emptiness may be the very space where a new life is being prepared. It's a difficult paradox to accept. The pain that tears at your chest may be the same force that paves the way for your mission. The weight you carry is not coincidence, nor punishment, it's training. And this sensitivity, which has made you feel out of place so many times, is exactly what the world needs right now. What almost no one talks about is that not being at the right time or in the right place doesn't mean you're behind. On the contrary, it means you're in the process. The universe, life, God, call it what you will, has a unique way of preparing those it chooses. So, if this message has already resonated with you, take the opportunity to like this video and follow the channel, because this is just the beginning. What comes next could completely change the way you see your journey. Many people go through life trying to silence their own pain as if it were just a useless weight. But those who feel deeply know it's not a flaw, it's a calling. Pain acts like an internal alarm, impossible to ignore, that pushes us to look within. It's like that insistent sound of an alarm clock, irritating, disturbing, but it exists only as a reminder that something needs to change. And the more one tries to drown it out, the louder it screams, until finally it's impossible to pretend it doesn't exist. Those who see pain this way realize that it can be a guide. Think about moments of transition, an unexpected layoff, the end of a relationship, or even that feeling of emptiness, when everything seems fine on the outside, but inside something doesn't make sense. These episodes, however uncomfortable, are like road signs saying, this direction is no longer for you. Pain isn't an enemy, it's a signpost. Those who can reinterpret suffering this way find the chance to transform its burden into purpose. A wise mentor often says that great transformations are not born in times of comfort, but in moments of anguish. And if you stop to think about it, it's true. Many discover new passions, new strengths, or even new careers during the times when they've suffered the most. Pain, in a way, shapes, teaches, and prepares. And curiously, when it begins to lose its villainous role, a greater understanding emerges. Perhaps the maladjustment we feel was never a mistake, but this naturally leads us to reflect on the next point. From an early age, many feel they don't fit into social molds. While others seem to follow a common script, school, work, family, routine, there are those who feel that their own lives don't fit into these pre-established patterns. This feeling of misfit, rather than a sign of failure, is a sign of purpose. It's as if the soul carries a different frequency, unable to vibrate in tune with the rest of the world. And this difference isn't a flaw, it's a direction. Think of a bird that, by chance, was born among chickens. It may even try to peck around, walk like everyone else, and strive to fit in. But at some point, you'll feel like you were born for something else. The same happens to those who experience this displacement. It's not that they're wrong, it's that they were born to soar in skies few reach. Instead of trying to adjust to a limited reality, the invitation is precisely to explore your own uniqueness. This not belonging can be a gift in disguise. It pushes a person toward paths of creation, spirituality, leadership, or service, areas where difference becomes strength. Many entrepreneurs, artists, and thinkers have transformed their strangeness into a contribution to the world. And perhaps this is the key. What today seems like a failure, tomorrow can be understood as a mission. But to fully understand this, one must traverse an inescapable territory, the dark nights of the soul. At some point in their journey, everyone goes through that period when life seems to have turned off the lights. These are phases where nothing makes sense, where even getting out of bed seems like a gigantic effort. This state is known by many seekers as the dark night of the soul. It's not just sadness or discouragement, it's a kind of internal desert where old certainties crumble. It's painful, but also fertile. It's in this silence that the seeds of profound transformation sprout. The metaphor of a seed is perfect for this process. Before it can blossom, it must be buried in the darkness of the earth, unable to see the light for a time. From the outside, it seems like nothing is happening, but inside, everything is reorganizing itself for growth. The same happens with the human soul. The moment life seems most barren is when something new is being prepared. Darkness is not punishment. It is the incubator of a different future. Many can relate to this. Loss, disappointment, that feeling of emptiness that arrives without warning. However, those who go through these nights realize that they act as a watershed moment. The old self begins to die, making way for a renewed self, one strengthened precisely by having faced the darkness. And it's curious because, looking back, we realize that the paths that seemed lost were never actually lost. They, too, were part of the map. Many people look back and see only failures, opportunities that slipped by, relationships that didn't work out, choices that seemed wrong. But when perspective shifts, these moments begin to reveal new meaning. The detours, in fact, weren't signs that we were lost. They were part of the path itself. It's as if each fall, each closed door, was carefully positioned to redirect the route and take us exactly where we needed to be. Imagine a river that, at a certain point, encounters a gigantic rock. It doesn't fight against it until it's exhausted. It simply changes course, skirts the obstacle, and keeps going, still finding the ocean at the end. Life works similarly. The losses and frustrations that seemed like roadblocks are often shortcuts in disguise. When we look more closely, we realize it wasn't the end of the road, but a necessary turn. This new perspective even allows us to reclaim gratitude for what once caused pain. After all, that relationship that ended may have opened the door to a more mature love. That lost job may have been the trigger for starting your own business. Apparent chaos reveals itself as a map. And once we understand this, an even more powerful realization emerges. This entire journey was no coincidence, but preparation for something new that is already beginning to unfold. After going through pain, setbacks, and dark nights, there comes a point when everything starts to make sense. It's as if each tear has served as silent training for a new cycle that is about to begin. The heart, once tired, now beats with new strength. Not because the challenges have disappeared, but because the soul has learned to see them as part of its refinement. This invisible preparation reveals itself in the present. The person discovers they are more ready than they imagined. It is at this moment that life seems to whisper, "Now is your time." The prayers, even those said in silence, have been heard. The mistakes, the pauses, and even the falls align like the steps of a staircase. Those who can perceive this breathe differently, walk differently, carry a different energy. There is a new clarity in the gaze, as if the darkness had finally taught us to value the light. The past ceases to be a burden and becomes fuel. And the most fascinating thing is that this preparation never truly ends. It renews itself at each stage. What seemed like mere survival reveals itself to be a process of strengthening, creating a life of purpose. The soul, once weighed down by the weight of pain, now expands and understands that it is only at the beginning of a new journey, and it is precisely in this awakening that the invitation arises to look at oneself more deeply. Now that you've gone through this reflection, the question remains: what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue trying to fit in, where your soul no longer fits, or will you accept that your pain has always been a preparation for something greater? Maybe it's time to stop fighting who you are and finally live as someone born to awaken. Think about it. How many times have you tried to stifle your sensitivity, only to realize it always comes back stronger? What if, instead of running away from it, you chose to use it as fuel to create, love, and transform? The world doesn't need more people pretending they're okay. It needs your authentic light, the one that only exists because you've made it through the darkness. So I challenge you, if this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, follow the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Because when you do this, you not only strengthen your own journey, you help spread a message that can save other lives too. After all, your time is now, and the world is waiting for your true presence.